Welcome back to the GSMC Hockey Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. We're back with our third segment of the night, talking resigning frenzy here. As you know, there's a lot of talk about the free agents, but I do want to talk about the guys that elected to go back to their team, as there has been a lot of them. So we're going to get right into it. Bobby Brink is the most... we're going to go from recent to oldest here. I believe Yaroslav is the oldest one we will be talking about. But we're going to start with Bobby Brink here. A 2-year kind of bridge deal. See whether or not that this guy will make improvements that the Philadelphia Flyers want him to make ahead of, giving him a big long-term contract. A 2-year deal, $1.5 million is the cap hit, is a very team-friendly deal, a bridge deal that the Philadelphia Flyers are very lucky to get Bobby Brink to sign. So that's a fantastic contract for the Flyers. Anton Lundell is probably one of the biggest ones from today. He signs a 6-year extension with the Florida Panthers. I think, what does that tell me is that he's going to be playing on that second line with Matthew Tkachuk. And they expect big things from Anton Lundell next season. He's 22 years old. This was his first eligible contract extension, and he gets it. It's a $5 million cap hit for 6 years, a $30 million total deal. Very good contract for Anton Lundell. That one could come back to bite the Florida Panthers in the butt, but we don't know if we don't know how that's going to play out. Riley Sutter re-signed with a 2-way contract. Shane Pinto, Ottawa Senators center, re-signed with them. 2-year deal, a bridge deal, kind of like Bobby Brink. But unlike Bobby Brink, he signed for $3.75 million AAV for 2 years. A $7.5 million deal total is an expensive one for Shane Pinto. Next up, we have Emil Lilleberg, who signs the kind of bridge deal for the Tampa Bay Lightning, a defenseman, 2 years, $1.6 million. Philip Roos, a RFA, 1 year, $775 contract. He's 25, defenseman for the Senators. The Vegas Golden Knights re-signed 2 guys. Connor McMichael re-signed with the Washington Capitals. Joe Wall re-signed with the Toronto Maple Leafs for 3 years, $11 million total. We talked about Patrick Kane already. Pavel Buchnevich re-signed with the Pavel Buchnevich also extended for the St. Louis Blues. And what were the other extensions that I saw? I saw, of course, Pavel Buchnevich. I'm trying to find that one. There it is. It is a 6-year deal for Pavel Buchnevich, $8 million. Of course, the Victor Hedman extension in Tampa Bay. 6 years at $48 million is a very good contract, but he's going to be 35 when that's up. So towards the end of it, I think the St. Louis Blues might be regretting it a little bit for Pavel Buchnevich, but for right now, it looks very good for them. Other extensions, of course, Victor Hedman, as I mentioned, Adam Henrique, as we already talked about. And I think that might be it for the guys that have re-signed / extended right now, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I do believe that is all for the big guys, of course. The bigger guys on the board. Of course, Juuse Saros, but that happened a little bit ago. So for the guys that are still up for extensions, the biggest name is probably Mo Seider, but they also have Lucas Raymond and Joe Veleno for the Detroit Red Wings that they need to re-sign. All those guys are going to be very expensive. Maybe Joe Veleno won't be, but you do expect him to take a little bit of a step forward next season. Other guys, Martin Necas, who has made it very clear that he is not going to be re-signing in Carolina and wants a trade. Jeremy Swayman is one of the bigger names that needs a contract still. He is, of course, future Vezina winner in Boston. He definitely needs a contract. It's going to be an expensive one for Boston too. I know Igor Shesterkin is looking for an extension. We'll see how that plays out, as I think I saw that he wants like $12 million in an extension, which would be absolutely insane. The Blue Jackets have a host of a host of young guys that they need to re-sign in Kirill Marchenko, Cole Sillinger, Kent Johnson all need new contracts this season. I think all three of them will get bridge deals, though, kind of along the lines of a Bobby Brink contract. I wouldn't be too worried. The Utah Hockey Club needs to re-sign Barrett Hayton, who is a restricted free agent. Oliver Wahlstrom for the New York Islanders is a restricted free agent. Other big names here. Other big names like Seth Jarvis is still an RFA. Quentin Byfield is still an RFA. Or is still needs a new contract. Thomas Harley still needs a new contract. Ilya Tolvanen still needs a new contract. Cole Perfetti, Matthew Beniers, Dawson Mercer, Joe Veleno. And as I'm saying all this, did Jack Roslovic just sign with the Carolina Hurricanes? I think he did just sign with the Carolina Hurricanes. Like, as I'm doing my show, let me make sure that this is right. This could be a little bit of breaking news here. I think that just came up, if I'm not mistaken. Let me refresh TSN here. And yes, Jack Roslovic did just sign with the Carolina Hurricanes. That happened just moments ago. So that is a third line center pretty much for the Carolina Hurricanes. Maybe plays on the wing for them as well. But is going to be a good acquisition for the Carolina Hurricanes that is looking to kind of just retool their entire forward group, really, as a lot of them left and a lot of them are coming in. So that is a little bit of breaking news there as I'm doing all of this. But let's keep going. Nick Robertson is an RFA, needs a new contract. Henry Jokiharju needs a new contract. Philip Tomasino needs a new contract still. Ryan Lindgren is an RFA for the Rangers. As I mentioned, Kent Johnson for the Blue Jackets. Payne Krebs for the Sabres need a new contract. So there's a lot of guys that are still out there. I don't expect any of them to go to a different team besides Martin Necas than the one that is currently paying them some money. But yeah, further re-signing, some of the biggest ones, just to recap here, it's Pavel Buchnevich re-signing with the St. Louis Blues is probably the biggest. Juraj Slafkovsky, as I completely skipped over Juraj Slafkovsky. Let's go back to that one, as that was definitely my bad. Just skipping right over probably one of the biggest names to re-sign. Also, Matt Duchene also re-signed with the Dallas Stars. I forgot to mention that. But going back up to Juraj Slafkovsky, if I could find it now, I was just scrolled over it. Now it's completely gone, isn't it? There it is. Yep. So this is probably the biggest one to talk about here is former number 1 overall pick in the 2022 draft. He gets the extension that he was looking for at 8-year, $60.8 million deal, making $7.6 million per year AAV. Right now looks like a bad deal, but the Montreal Canadiens expect him to keep growing and keep going in the upward trajectory that his career is really looking like it should be going in. And the Montreal Canadiens want that to be a fantastic deal, and it definitely can be. $7.6 million could have the potential, as I mentioned, to be a fantastic deal for the Montreal Canadiens. But right now, I just don't think Juraj Slafkovsky is somebody that really moves the needle for me. Last season, it wasn't too impressive when he did play in the NHL. Let me make sure I pull up his stats so I can give you guys some actual fact instead of just spewing to you. It's 50 points in 82 games played. He was also a minus 19, which is a little bit disappointing. The season before that, it was even worse, 10 points in 39 games played. But last season, kind of being able to turn it around a bit. He was a 20-goal scorer for the Montreal Canadiens, and having Cole Caulfield around him does help him a lot. He needs to use his big body a little bit more and play that two-way style a bit better, and minus 19 is a little bit concerning for the first-line center that you expect to play such a great two-way style of game. So Juraj Slafkovsky does get paid. I'm a little bit concerned for that contract. That was my initial reaction, and it still is my thoughts right now. But I can be proved wrong, and I wouldn't be shocked if I was proved wrong with Juraj Slafkovsky. So just a little recap. Slafkovsky, extension with the Canadiens. Hedman, extension with the Lightning. Pavel Buchnevich, extension with the Blues, are kind of the biggest name. And then you have like Anton Lundell going back, Shane Pinto going back, Bobby Brink going back to their respective teams, all of them. So that'll wrap it up for this third segment, talking resigning frenzy here in the NHL. When I come back from my third break of the night, we'll be talking about the Anaheim Ducks, give a season preview, talk about what they did in free agency and in the draft so far this season, and talk about how this team is looking heading in to what could be their final year of their rebuild.